Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Shauna, I'm a host of Real Talk powered by CMD, and I am absolutely delighted to have Petra Pope join us today. Petra, you are an icon in the sports and entertainment industry, and I do not say that lightly. Award-winning, sought after. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I
Really
can't believe it's
appreciate it.
been so long. We think about it, we work together from the Nets, and you just have been such a great, over the years, mentor. I told you earlier, you impacted me more than you even realized. And
So
so,
sweet.
and like through the years and miles. So it means a ton that you're here with me today.
Thank you so much, Shauna, for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah. So you have done so much in the industry. So can you share with us today, the evolution of your career, but also how you created, and I really say this, that you created your own reality that you currently are living, and it's incredible to watch. So tell us about it.
So it's interesting. When I was a little kid, it all starts from there. For me, anyway, I used to be the one that would have shows in the garage. So I would literally produce these entertainment shows, invite my friends, and we would either act things out or some of them played instruments. So I've been kind of doing this entertainment thing for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
I was living in Germany, graduated high school. My sister was living in LA, and I saved my money and literally said, I'm going to move to California. Moved in with my sister. My first job there was with the Gap. And my sister was really good friends with Jerry Buss. And so long story short, he was looking for an assistant. And I said, I can do that. Taking shorthand. I mean, I'm old shorthand and typing and all that stuff. I said, yeah, I'm in. And long story short, he appreciated my detail and my creativity. And he literally came up to me about maybe 9 months later and said, how about you oversee the Laker girls? And I said, awesome. So that's how my career started.
Wow. I didn't know this. This is fantastic. That's awesome.
Yes. So a lot of people don't know how it really began, and that was it. And I immediately started recreating costuming just to be kind of cool and relevant for Showtime, and hiring new choreographers because I got bored with what they were doing. Yeah. So I did that with the Lakers for I think 7 or 8 years. Moved to New York, and at that point they didn't have an entertainment team or a dance team. And Jerry Buss, God rest his soul, met with all the governors. They have the board of governors meetings, and came back, literally called me and said, Petra, you need to go interview. They're looking for a dance team. And so I did. And that's how it all started with Pam Harris, who to this day, I credit my career with her.
Same.
Yeah, she is so super smart. Yeah. So down to earth and just so cool. And I mean, so creative, but I credit my kind of trajectory to her, because she made me understand that don't take yourself so seriously. Like just do a good job and enjoy and be and continue to be authentic to yourself. And I think that's Harris, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I worked with the Knicks for 14 years before the Nets stole me away. With the Knicks, I created the Knicks City Dancers, the Knicks City Kids, assisted with their entertainment towards the back end of my career. And then the Nets asked me to join them, which was amazing. At that point, then I just ran the entire game presentation, and which then led to community and then also producing their events. A lot of people only know about the sexy part of my job, and that was the entertainment teams. But I left the Nets as senior vice president of event marketing and communications. So that's the evolution. And then I decided, I'm ready to kind of slow down And I started my own company and consulted for the Clippers, consulted for the Milwaukee Bucks, and now I'm consultant for the Washington football team.
Incredible.
So that's the evolution of a little girl from Germany moved to LA, and boom, kind of created my as you said, my own reality of entertainment and fashion, costuming.
Yeah. It's interesting as you talk about it, you not only redefined entertainment, game entertainment, event marketing, as you're saying, you defined it. And so as you're talking through it, tell us about how has your vision evolved over time too, to where it is today?
Yeah, for me, I like to kind of follow or be right in front of the trend.
Yeah.
There might be that small pocket of people that kind of get what I'm doing, but soon there, a lot of people will. So I love, it's evolved as the trends evolve. Right now, my big thing is I don't want to just see a dance performance. I want to see tricks. I want to see stunts. I want to see props, because even as you're watching television and you're watching the world of dance, they're not just dancing. It's included are really cool visuals, cool formations, and tricks and stunts. So I kind of go with that trend. And I also go with things that I find exciting, because I think if I'm a fan in the stands, I don't want to just see dance. I want to come to the game and say, oh my God, what are they doing today? What are they wearing today? Yeah. So it's kind of evolved with the trend of the time.
You were talking about Pam earlier, and I think you similarly, I find in both of you, it's things that being very relevant and leaning into culture crashing. And you see that in the expression of, I've seen it in what you've done. And, you really, as I watched it and have seen it evolve through you, it so much came from just this, literally it used to be called game presentation, to it is entertainment. It is a show every single night. And so, in arena and even through the broadcast, it's such a difference.
It's a production. It is a real production. And some teams do it really well. Some other teams need to really catch up.
Yes.
So, because I think that all the teams should follow in all sports, should follow the trend. They have a responsibility to the fan to give them the best. And the best is to keep evolving with the trend.
Yeah. So that's such a great segue, though, when you mentioned the Washington football team earlier, and then when you talk about it really transcends which sport you're talking about. So you overhauled the NBA, really got it to this showtime that it is now, right? And so all of a sudden now you're infusing all of that and yourself into the NFL. And so at the Washington football team. So give us a scoop. Tell us why are you doing it? And what are you doing there?
It's amazing. I am pretty much bringing the NBA to the NFL.
That's awesome.
And it's exciting, because what I tell everyone is I'm no longer concerned about scratching the floor. At NBA games, you're like, okay, you can't use this prop, or you can't use this stand, or you can't tap, you can't do all these things because you're on the floor.
You're on the floor.
So having the ability to be on the field is just, it's amazing. So it really has my creative juices flowing, because I'm able to do, different things, bigger things to entertain the fans. And it is just bringing the NBA flair to the NFL. And I feel so blessed to be able to, still be such a big part of my reality in that entertainment is fashion, and creating a culture in the NFL that I was able to create in the NBA.
Yeah. Wow. So today people are seeing on this screen, I'm going to talk about your duality here, one of your dualities. People see on this screen, lovely Petra. That's part of your duality. Your other part of your duality that I've always also admired is your takes no shit. Yeah. Takes no shit, yet totally lovely. So I would love for you to talk about that a little bit. And how has that helped you to navigate your world? Even this new challenge, I thought of it because the challenge that you've got to go in and create so much change in the NFL. So how do you use that duality to navigate your world?
You know, it's funny. Thank goodness. I don't spend too much time thinking about it. I think that it is innate. It's
yeah.
who I am. Growing up, and again, it goes back to childhood for me. Growing up, my father was military, my mother German, and I'm an interracial child, right? So growing up, I had to protect myself in a way. And so you build this wall of strength and power and don't even attempt to cross me.
Yeah.
And I don't realize that it's there until it's there, right? Until it comes forward. It doesn't warn me, it just comes forward where I'm very, protective.
Yeah.
So the duality is my spirit is, I'm kind and I'm, if I'm kind, I'm loving. But like, I really have a spirit of goodness that is much more powerful and real than any other part of me. I mean, that's my spirit. But the military side of me, and my father is an incredible influence, and I've watched him navigate whether it's racism, probably navigate racism, as a man. I was born in 1964, so I had to navigate racism, and so I've learned, like I'm not going to take any shit. When I grew up as a kid, I wanted to ride horses. I wanted to ride motorcycles, and that wasn't necessarily what a girl was supposed to do, right? And some people thought, why aren't you over here doing what we do? Why are you doing what's deemed as like a white people's sport? And I'm like, but it's not a white people's sport. This is like in everybody's sport. So that's where I gained kind of that sense of duality, that I'm going to do what I want to do. Don't cross me.
Absolutely.
But my spirit is a spirit of goodness and kindness. And as that relates to my career, I am able to say, no, I disagree with what's taking place or what's being said. I have a voice, I have a seat at the table, and I'm going to express myself. And people may not like it, and I may not agree with what they're saying, but at least I have a voice, and I'm going to voice my opinion.
Yeah. It's incredible as a woman and as a person of color in a traditionally very white male dominated industry. It's not an easy thing to navigate. And so that was part of why I was thinking about, how incredible it is that you have evolved as you have, and you really use your voice. And, you said it's innate, and I'm curious, is it something that, because it had to evolve over time as well. Is it something that you needed to work on? And what was some of that? What was that like?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think that I had to work on the kind of corporate duality, right? Because I can't always just say what the heck I want to say. Like I can't, sit down and then just, I have to literally, I actually had to think about and filter what I wanted to say with with how I should deliver it, right? So I had to learn, and I did learn as I watched other people navigate corporate America, and I just learned by bits and pieces. I kind of gathered. I do that. I'm a great researcher. Whatever I need, I will research. So I would literally sit back and just watch people, men, women, how they navigated conversation. Even though I knew that they were upset about something, they still filtered. And so I found that to be very impressive. So I said, you know what, maybe that's something I need to be better at, rather than being so angry. Just kind of be smooth, and just whatever you deliver, make sure that it's impactful.
Absolutely.
Choose your words wisely.
Choose your words wisely.
Choose your words wisely, and pick and choose your battles. Because sometimes I don't need to say anything. Just be quiet. Keep it moving. It's not that big of a deal, right? But other times, have a voice.
Yeah, absolutely.
But make it impactful. So that's it. It has evolved in that way of I pick and choose when to be strong and aggressive, and things that don't matter in the big picture scheme of things. I just sit back.
Yeah. And I have to say, like, you were a beacon for me in my own journey, as I would watch you when you didn't necessarily know. But it's an art to figure out, and you know, that a bit of that like dance, pardon the pun.
No, it's true. Yeah. It's a hard dance.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
Sometimes your partner has two left feet. And you're like, how do I get through this right now?
It's so true. But I love how you even talked about that person as your partner. I think a lot of times when people want to use their voice, they're thinking of that person that they're needing to impact and influence as their adversary.
No.
You know, and so it's so great. It is to think about we're trying to get somewhere near the same place. And so that thinking of that person as a partner is a great.
Yes. And it's true because I always say that that the answer, no one's 100% right, no one's 100% wrong. The answer lies in the middle. Yeah. And in order to work cohesively with your partner, the answer has to be in the middle. So yeah. That's another way where I've evolved, because now I think that way, like, okay, they're not saying exactly what I want them to say, but maybe I'm not 100% right.
Right.
Maybe if I really listen, what they're saying could have a great impact on the overall picture. So just sit back and listen. So that's also where I've kind of evolved in terms of corporate America.
Yeah. Well, your duality is also, I also see it present in, there's a part of you that is big city, boss lady, you know, it was, as we talked about, and the other side of you is that nature centric, a bit more reclusive, I'll call it, dog mom. And so talk about that. Is that part of what helps you stay balanced and grounded?
Yes. So years ago, probably a decade ago, maybe almost 2 decades ago, you know, I'd gotten so into my career that I kind of forgot, you know, who that, I speak a lot about my inner child, right? I speak a lot about my inner child because that is where there's no judgment, and I'm more creative and more happy and more productive and more me. And I wish I could recall the book that I read, but they say to draw upon what makes you most happy. And that's my inner child, and it's nature. So that's another part of where I've evolved as a professional. And, you know, I'm almost 58. And to me, you have to tap back into what brought you such joy decades ago. And nature is that. I've always loved nature. I've always gone camping. I've always hiked. Ever since I was a kid, my mother used to become so worried because I would go by myself. I've always been an introvert. So I would go hike in Germany by myself, or I would borrow neighbors' dogs because we didn't have a dog at that time. So all my neighbors loved me, but I'm back at it, and I've never been happier. I'm back at it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so life-giving. And I love that you talked about that, like how you can be truly you and that authenticity, because that's another thing that has always rang through with you, is that you are just 100% you and in your own skin and no pretenses. And again, like, it's probably been difficult to navigate a white male dominated industry as a woman and a person of color, as also like in the society that we live in game entertainment and presentation, you know, that it's such a show to have that, again, that duality, to be totally authentic. It's probably not easy with all that pressure.
It's not easy, Shauna. I'm not going to lie about it. There are days when I'm like, really, what the heck? Not the military. I'm like, yeah. But it's not easy to navigate. And there are moments when I'm so proud of myself, because once I feel myself going down that nasty rabbit hole, and it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole and to give up and to give in. Mm-hmm. But I always hear my father in my ear ever since I was a kid, and would be called, you know, the N-word, and the white kids hated me, the black kids hated me. And so I had to navigate. So at the end of the day, people are people, whether you're a white man in the corporate America, they're people. And I've navigated people my entire life. Mm-hmm. But it gives me strength, because when I sit in a boardroom and I am quite often the only woman
Yeah.
and the only woman of color.
Right.
Not one moment do I feel less than. I know how to deal with the men. You know, I've done it forever.
Yeah.
And so I sit in corporate America in these boardrooms and I don't care.
You authentically stand in your strength.
Yes, 100%. I am powerful.
Yeah,
and I wish more women knew that.
Yeah.
And I credit my dad because he had such an impact on my life as a child. I can fish, I can hunt, I'm a black belt, and that was because of my father. So I've never felt less than because he's never made me feel less than. He has treated me equally. So why would I go into a boardroom and feel less than when all my life I've been treated as an equal?
Yeah.
So I think more women need to relax back and say, you know what? I'm a freaking equal.
Yeah. Believe it yourself and do and
Believe
yeah,
it.
believe it and be it. Yeah.
Be it. Whether you're a person of color, a woman, like look within. The strength is there.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to bring that out.
Yeah.
And I've done that my entire career. I'm not intimidated at all. I mean, you know, I'm really not.
You know, he walks into the room and you're like, whoa, who is coming here?
But I've never been intimidated at all. I mean, I can't recall the last time I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I just walk in. Now I do have to get that mindset.
Right.
You know, like, all right, here we go.
Yeah. It's so helpful, I think, to hear you talk about it, because sometimes we can see somebody who's in a role who's rocking it, owning it, all of these things. And it's easy to not see or notice that that person works on it, or that person has gone through things to get to that point. And so, you know, even earlier when you said you're an introvert, I say that as well. And most people, if they see you or they talk and work with you, they see this like this, they're like, are you kidding me? How is that even possible? But it is an interesting like duality and that you grow and you work with over time. But thank you so much for sharing so openly, because I think, you know, this is the kind of stuff that really helps people to hear, because it's not what people maybe see or think on the surface. There's so much more there.
Yeah. And it's okay to feel insecure at the beginning. Yeah. That's okay. It's okay to be scared.
Yeah.
At the beginning, right? But if you walk in wearing this kind of hat of confidence, because we can either make ourselves or break ourselves. Be kind to yourself. Walk in with a hat of confidence and just sit there and feel your strength, because we have it right here.
So true.
Women are strong. We are very powerful. And always make eye contact. So make eye contact with the person who you think is the enemy. Make eye contact.
Make that person your partner, to use your words.
Make them your partner. And when you look in, you'll see they're as scared as you are. Maybe about something else, maybe about that exact thing, but they have just honed that skill differently than you have. Everyone's afraid.
Yeah, it's so true. So true. You've shared so much about yourself and your own journey, which has been just such a gift. So thank you. And
yes, my pleasure.
Before I let you go, I would love to hear your thoughts on, what do you think the industry needs to do more of or less of?
So what I think and I don't want to insult anyone at all, but what I think, I'm gonna keep it real right now. I really am, because it's mind-boggling. So there is a league that tells their teams, don't focus so much on your entertainment assets. Focus on the LED boards or the Jumbotron, but not so much on your entertainment assets. Asinine. And we mentioned it earlier, it is a production. Yeah. You owe it to the fans to give them the very best.
Right.
And teams, when they hear from a league perspective, not to focus on their entertainment assets, some of them are doing that. They're not providing the resources to the entertainment assets. They're not really looking at them and thinking, what can we do better? Right. I mean, the clothing, they're becoming more skimpy, less family friendly. Stop it. Stop it. That is not the trend. We need to really reassess what we're doing, clothe our entertainment assets, hire great choreographers because they are important. Pay them more. They are important. You should put nothing on your stage that is less than perfect. Put nothing on your stage that is less than perfect. Provide the resources. So I think, so yeah, everyone needs to do more. Right. They need to do more. They need to provide resources. From a league perspective, the league needs to stop telling people to do less with their entertainment assets. They need to do more. Yeah. They need to do better.
Yeah. And what I learned through you and how you transformed the Nets years ago, it's not a layer, it's part of the business that drives the business units. And Brett Yormark is always such a mastermind of monetizing things, but also things being best in class. And you really set the bar with that. And we got to see how the entertainment was actually driving business. And I think that's an interesting shift, that if people aren't putting value to it, then it seems to me that they may not be looking at it as part of what drives the business.
Absolutely. And it does drive the business. There are X amount of thousands of fans that are watching a production. It shouldn't.
And corporate partners.
And corporate partners. And I say that all the time. Yeah. That it is important. And a little piece of information that someone gave me, I was blown away when they said, well, we really show, what the television captures. So that's what we really are concerned with. And my thought was, well, but what about the fans that are in the stands? They deserve to see the best. So when you ask me, what can the industry do better or more or less of, do more for the entertainment assets. 100%, do more. Rethink what we're doing, bring it back to family entertainment, bring it back to being visually exciting with choreography, with props and tricks and stunts, bring it back home to the foundation.
Got it. Well, you have been an absolute joy to have today. You've shared so much with us, and we look forward to seeing the magic that you're going to make happen out on that Washington football field.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you. If you ever need an ally in what you're trying to, push through, call on me anytime.
I will do it. Thank you so much. I respect what you've done, and the life that you've created for yourself has been amazing, Shauna. I'm envious when I see you out there on your bike.
Oh, thank you so much, Pia. Safe travels back. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.